Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are the Beijing Foreign Studies University team. When you think about rappers, you might think about Jay-Z, Eminem, or Cardi B, but can you remember any Asian rappers? I'm guessing most people probably don't know much about them. But Asian rap has taken off. It just needs some chance to be known. And 88 Rising is one company that taps into and nurtures Asian rappers. So the topic of our presentation today is Bridge the Beat, Diverse with 88 Rising. The recording industry, the live music industry, and the music publishing industry have come together to form the concept of a music industry. According to the IFPI Global Music Report, all three industries showed significant growth in 2021. So whose pockets will such high revenue go into? The three giants of the music industry, Sony, Warner, and Universal, take a huge amount of it. These three companies have a complete chain of music companies, but they also have troubles. Streaming media such as Spotify had quickly grabbed the market since its birth, earning $60.9 billion in 2021, accounting for 65% of global recorded music revenue. Their direct distribution mechanism is even more direct out of the wallets of traditional record companies. So who are the darlings of streaming users? Well, the answer is hip-hop. The hip-hop industry is one of the most dynamic and influential music genres in the world. In the United States, 30% of the top 100 songs on the Billboard chart are rap songs, and close to 1/3 of Americans being fans. People supports make it from a small underground movement to a multi-billion-dollar industry. However, rap, which is incredibly popular worldwide, is just beginning to heat up in Asia, where for a long time, Asian rap has been stagnant because of its low popularity and inability to attract Western audiences. Is this the end of the road for Asian rap? Well, quite the opposite. Both Asians and Asian people have a strong desire to express themselves, and the nature of rap is exactly the same. Asians have always been labeled as mild, nerdy, and unattractive, and each Asian's own unique character has been hidden under these labels. They seek self-identity and are eager to make their voices heard. From a collective Asian perspective, the growing Asian population and Asian demographics means that there's a huge market out there. And as Asia becomes stronger economically, technologically, and more, and they wanted to further expand their cultural influence, which means that there was a great opportunity for Asian rap to grow. Well, 88 Rising was born with it. It is an artist management company with many great Asian rappers and has over 7 billion streams and 3 billion plays on social media. With a strong presence in the Asian rap scene and a unique brand image of Asian cool, they want to promote Asian culture through their songs and overturn stereotypes about Asians. It is multidimensional. Not only does it run music channels and festivals, but it also markets its own brand. It opens 88 Rising Store and established the company's YouTube channel to build an audience for its own brand and reduce per capita promotion costs by accumulating a large number of fans. It has also partnered with lifestyle brands, such as linking up with McDonald's to broadcast a live performance by one of its artists on the McDonald's app, enhancing the brand's reach. So can 88 Rising's position stay solid? While moving on to the rationale section, 88 Rising's business is expanding, but the company has a small staff and its current operations rely heavily on the CEO's personnel skills, which is not as sustainable. 88 Rising still needs to consolidate its business and discover avenues of talents. In addition, 88 Rising is at risk of losing talents as the other companies and streaming companies trying to attract the same kind of talents. Meanwhile, with the other rival,
Sorry, there's something wrong with our equipment, and Mei is talking, but we can't hear her. Can we ask for the additional time?
Can anyone else keep? Excuse me, can you hear me? Can you all hear me? Or only?
Yes.
Oh, you can all hear me. Can anyone else keep on going?
Sorry, he is talking, but there's something wrong with his equipment. So can we ask for the additional time?
I
Maybe
think it might be difficult to give you extra time for the presentation, but I will check.
oh, she will go to.
Yeah, maybe you can switch the laptop.
Can you hear me right now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, you can hear.
No.
Through my. Okay, me talking and through my microphone.
Okay, and meanwhile, with other rivals entering the Asian rap field and some of 88 Rising's artists exploring new music styles, the question of whether to explore a diverse market becomes one that 88 Rising needs to answer.
Now let's move on to the strategy section, where we propose 3 strategies to address the issues raised earlier. Strategy 1.
May I know if it is BE speaking? I cannot hear you at the moment. I'm not sure if anyone else has the same problem. You all cannot hear her, right? I'm not sure if the other teammates you can remind BE who is talking at the moment to maybe switch to her phone and try to use another laptop. At the same time, I might check if extra time can be given to you, but I'm not sure it is I'm not sure I can do that because for each team, the time has been allocated before. It's 20 minutes in total, and we have already considering such technical issues before. And I suggest BE, can you use your cell phone to continue with your presentation? And the other.
Yeah, Miss Wang, I think maybe 3 of my teammates there, our network is a bit of unstable, and I will try to. Yes, I will ask B to speak with my microphone. Could you please just stay for a few seconds? Yes, thank you so much.
Sure. Thank you.
We need to develop a complete system to better develop it. Strategy to 88 Rising needs to better develop, that is diversification and expansion of market scale. Strategy 3, in order to promote the sustainable development of the whole industry, it can carry out music education and sell the peripheral products of renewable materials, etc. Through these 3 strategies, 88 Rising can serve as a bridge to connect artists and audience while relying on the big data of social media platforms for better development. Strategy 1. Starting from the company's core competitiveness, that is, the artists, 88 Rising needs to systematically cultivate more talents. First, how do we dig artists? Here we distinguish between 2 groups. Singers with fan base on the internet will be identified and screened with the big data, and a selection and assessment system will be established. Singers without a fan base are selected through competitions. The competition will be screened on social media platforms and then played offline and online according to different regions. Second, how do we train them? The answer is centered around them and give support. Brokers will provide all kinds of support to improve the professional ability of artists. Next, complete training plans and resource support are necessary. From the perspective of company, it should provide better hardware equipment and create an optimistic cultural environment. Third, the promotion of artists is inseparable from the company's marketing. Companies should establish professional marketing team to guide artists. Finally, it can carry out joint marketing activities with other brands using artists as spokesmen. Fourthly, it is also very important to retain this precious talent resource. With the rising market value of 88 Rising, it can choose to give the 0.01% shares to head artists to improve their sense of identity and belonging. In addition to material incentives, 88 Rising should also let artists always experience that they are the center of the company and they are all respected. This can encourage artists to give full play to their creativity and contribution more value to the platform. Strategy 2 adds for the future development concept of 88 Rising. It needs to diversify and expand market share because rap is not the only form of expressing the voice of Asians. 88 Rising should not be confined to this form of music, but should develop different types of music and meet the needs of different audiences. First of all, it has advantage of existing artists such as Georgie, which has more than 3 million subscribers on YouTube, who is good at R&B and soul music. So if he has this talent and love, it would be a good entry point to explore R&B market from the anchor of such head artists. Not only that, 88 Rising will continue to dig artists with diverse musical backgrounds and styles. So how do we understand the demand side? Market demand and response to our trendy music can be predicted or observed through research and data analysis to keep up with the trend or to ensure that we are not going further on the wrong way. This can constantly optimize the strategy and improve the accuracy and efficiency. In addition, diversified music activities can be carried out to better meet the audience of specific groups. The second point is the expansion of market. We mainly divide the market into two categories. One is Asian countries, which will make it easier for audience to accept. The other is region where Asians are minorities, where there is more purchasing power and the number of Asian groups is also very considerable. Strategy 3, not only 88 Rising, but also the whole industry needs sustainable development. And 88 Rising can also contribute to this. The first is to promote music education for different ages and music levels, so that all people interested in music can learn and try. In addition, 88 Rising can carry out public welfare projects for special groups such as children in poor areas. So what can 88 Rising do to protect the environment? It can promote peripheral products of renewable materials. 88 Rising can also work with environmental groups. It can not only raise the awareness of environmental protection and sustainability among fans, but also help 88 Rising build a better brand image. So how exactly should these strategies be carried out?
Now let's come to the part of the implementation. For music agencies like 88 Rising, facing to the upcoming competition, artists are always a core competitiveness. So how could 88 Rising attract more high-quality artists to maintain its position? Based on the popular attributes of hip-hop, it emphasizes self-expression, which can attract young people and be easy to spread, especially combined with the current development of short video platforms such as TikTok and YouTube. So 88 Rising can make more attempts on social media marketing. It can select and post a melody that lasts for about I'm sorry, can you hear me? Okay. I will continue. So we suggest 88 Rising to launch a melody creation competition on TikTok. It can select and post a melody that lasts for about 1 minute. At the same time, set up bonuses to encourage participants.
Excuse me, we cannot hear you, and we might give you extra time for around 3 minutes after this duration expires. So please feel free to continue your presentation.
I'm sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay. Okay. I will continue my presentation. So 88 Rising can set up bonuses to encourage participants to join the competition. And so in this way, for one thing, everyone can participate in the competition, or people can express themselves freely according to the melody. For another, the public's likes and comments can form the natural evaluation for artist's creation. The most popular creators can be selected in the most real situation. So in this process, how could 88 Rising further target and select the appropriate artist? First of all, according to the creation of the public, we can use artificial intelligence to analyze the videos, likes, comments, views, those data to realize real-time monitoring and data analysis. Also avoid cheating. So it can use the text mining, emotional analysis, and so on data analysis methods to select a batch of excellent artists. In view of the special properties of music, only artificial intelligence is far from enough. So the company can also invite senior musicians to analyze artists' style, field, creativity, and so on to further evaluate and select the winner of the competition. So in this way, 88 Rising can get many excellent artists and invite them to sign with 88 Rising. In addition, the public will know more about 88 Rising also. So how to further expand the brand influence? We hope to hold a rap competition, combined with some fashion brands, which popularizing among young people in different areas, such as clothing fashion brand, catering brand, and instrument brand, and so forth. Together with more artists, 88 Rising can give quality artists a larger stage to show themselves and sing their own voice. Of course, hip-hop culture is not only for those who can sing. We also want to hope everyone has a chance to express themselves. Everyone can sing a minute hip-hop. 88 Rising can launch a Your Voice activity to let public bravely tell their story and express themselves. The content will be as the basis of the competition. Artists will make rap based on people's stories, which can let more people's voice be heard on the stage. So 88 Rising can both give the artists a larger stage to show and give each voice a channel to show. 88 Rising as a music agency not only should take the company's development at its goal, but can also do more in spreading Asian culture, breaking the cultural gap. And here we believe that the cultural gap not only exists in different countries, but more exists between poverty and developed areas. Music has no borders, but have digital divide. Everyone has the right to enjoy music, but for children in poverty, that may be very difficult. So we suggest 88 Rising to donate $1 for every $50 in revenue to help poor areas building music classroom to take social responsibility. Perhaps the music classroom can arouse a child's dream of music so as to cultivate more excellent artists and more future audience and make the business model of 88 Rising more sustainable. At the same time, spreading Asian culture and breaking stereotypes will always be 88 Rising's vision. In the long run, it can also lay a way for a broader future market for Asian culture and both music culture. Therefore, we hope that with effort, 88 Rising can achieve its vision, bring it big, let everyone hear and to be heard. Now let's come to the part of evaluation and financial analysis. So now let's come to the evaluation part. The implementation of the above strategy can let us know that it can bring great benefits to our stakeholders. So for artists, joining 88 Rising means stepping onto the larger international platform and gaining better publicity and promotion. Also, they can collaborate with our professional teams to create better music. For audiences, they can participate in the arts creation, thus expressing their own voice through artists' mouths. Following 88 Rising's performances can also provide a very unique experience, and it can be a discovery to different values in the Asian community. Of course, attending 88 Rising's live shows can also help you find friends who share the same music preferences with you. And for the whole rap industry, on the one hand, 88 Rising can discover more rap talents through competitions and a database assessment system. On the other hand, we must also acknowledge that there are not so many geniuses in this world. However, 88 Rising's music classroom can further popularize rap or music, allowing everyone to enjoy the happiness that music can bring. In a nutshell, the benefits brought to stakeholders make artists willing to join 88 Rising,
attract more devoted fans and contribute to the thriving of the whole rap industry. Therefore, implementing such a strategy can help 88 Rising achieve more sustainable development in the future. The feasibility of the plan has been analyzed theoretically, and now we will conduct further financial analysis. The first part of financial analysis is trying to figure out if it's a wise investment decision with the aid of NPV method. Based on all these key assumptions, our calculation has shown that the NPV is greater than 0, which indicates that the project is financially feasible. Then we conducted a scenario analysis to consider what NPV or internal rate of return would be if we are at different points in a boom-bust cycle. So for more detailed calculations, you can refer to our appendix. Next is the income statement overview after implementing the strategy. We can go straight to key takeaways, actually. Firstly, we assume that the proportion of visual media and platform and apparel product will increase significantly, since we will continue to promote our artists through video platforms and develop fan economy. And secondly, the annual growth rate is expected to be 27% in the next 18 months. Of course, we have listed some potential risks. Yes, we have listed some potential risks and mitigations. We have also placed these risks in a coordinated axis like this. It's about possibility and impact to assess the importance of the risks. Firstly, celebrity scandals impacts on brand image. It is very likely to happen, actually, but as long as we have very strong public relationships, we can try to minimize the impact on 88 Risings. On the one hand, as an artist-centered company, we will consider the risks they face in the vanity fair and tell them in the contracts or lectures what is illegal, what is not illegal but immoral. On the other hand, 88 Rising can shoulder other social responsibilities and enhance the company's image from multiple aspects. Secondly, what if our business model is replicated by competitors? We advise 88 Rising to collaborate with more institutions and companies to build more solid connections with partners. Also, the company should implement our strategy as soon as possible to consolidate the first mover advantage. Thirdly, with development of technology, AI models are emerging and are likely to reshape the entertainment industry. To tackle this, the company should enhance the protection of intellectual property to protect 88 Rising artists' rights. Also, we believe that the works of AI idols are only a combination of techniques, but the greatest works of all time lie in expressing emotions or feelings and resonating with our audience. Therefore, 88 Rising will emphasize more on emotional connections with customers. Generally speaking, we advise 88 Rising to cultivate more talent systematically, push for diversification and expansion, and plan for sustainable development. Specifically, we would employ advanced technologies like data analysis and artificial intelligence to make the company operate more efficiently. 88 Rising is not only a patron for Asian singers, but also makes great efforts to promote music education. We believe that it will continue to shine and continue to bridge the beat. So let's diverse with 88 Rising. Yes, so that's all for our presentation. Thank you so much, time. And also, I want to sorry again for our unstable networks, because Zoom is not that stable in China. And if you have any other questions, you can ask us in the question session, and we would elaborate more on it as we can. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your presentations. It's now time for the Q&A session. The 15-minute Q&A session shall count down from now. Let's hear the first question from our judges.
I mean, first of all, well done for getting through that despite your technical difficulties. It must have been very difficult, and you did very well. I guess, like, the question I want to ask is, could you say something about the investments required to implement this strategy, and how those relate to the increased revenues that you showed?
Oh, yes. So I guess you're asking about the cost of our whole strategy. Do you mean this?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, because
Yeah,
it requires additional headcount to to do more with artists. It requires new artists. It requires some investment in AI. So what's your analysis of the investment required?
Yes, thank you so much for your question. We did consider this issue, but due to the limited public financial information available on 88 Rising, since it hasn't go public, and so we were only able to find that their revenue in 2022 was $3 million and their profit was $0.65 million, and without a detailed breakdown of their cost structure. So we didn't present certain information on our slides. However, we did do so. We have done some research and estimation. For example, you have mentioned that it's about the AI and database analysis. We think we could partner with third-party companies instead of doing research and inventing with our own things. We are only a startup. And we estimate that it might cost approximately $5 to $8 million. Also, our partner has mentioned that we would also push for the market expansion and diversification for our music styles. We believe that it would cost about $10 to $15 million. And all the ESG activities, we would also build music classroom. And we also know that building music classrooms is more like an ESG activity or shouldering social responsibility. So it might be quite difficult to generate cash flow or recover our costs in the short term. But I also want to mention that I think we don't have to focus particularly on whether the revenue can cover all those costs. Firstly, 88 Rising is a highly promising company with a very, very broad market. Secondly, 88 Rising has completed 4 rounds of financing. It has got investment from WPP or Horizons Venture, as it has released on its investment relationship on the website. And thirdly, we also accept sponsorship from the clothing, catering, or instrument industry during the competition. So therefore, we think that our strategy might not lead to 88 Rising running out of cash. So that's all for my answer. I will see if my partners have any other thing to add up a bit.
Maybe I can add up something. I think about the implementation part, we mentioned many competition and audition, but this will make full use of the attributes of hip hop because it's popularizing among the young people and they use the social media platforms very often. So we think the spread of the hip hop on the TikTok or the YouTube can be very fast and very low cost because you may not cost anything when you put something on the competition tag or and here in the audition and the competition, the only thing that 88 Rising may do is to set the bonus for the competence, but that may not be very expensive and can reach better publicity effect to make the promotion of the whole company and to let others to know more about the hip hop culture, Asia culture. And so we think it's a low cost and high efficiency plan to implement to make the implementation. And hope this answer can also answer your question. Maybe my other teammates can add up something. Thank you.
Well, I think that's all for our answers because my 2 teammates has answered it very well and very completed.
Yeah, thank you. Can I ask for the strategy 2? You mentioned about diversification, and have you analyzed the pros and cons of diversifying into other musical types styles? Because 88 Rising has been targeting a very niche market with a very specific edge. So when you talk about diversification, what are the pros, what are the cons, and any risks you identify? How do you mitigate it? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for asking this question. Yes, of course, diversification may be a very risky strategy because it aims based on the Asian core, like the previous brand is positioning is like very narrowed down, like you have said. But we also consider that it's a very insightful and a very inevitable way to go for 88 Rising to go for, because first of all, as I mentioned before, their positioning is based on Asian core as the main feature, but it's not the only feature. We think that the company's core value is to connect the cultures from the Asian and the other cultures, so that everything cool about Asian can be seen. Therefore, diversification does not violate the company's core values, but better achieve these goals. And secondly, diversified development can expand the company's business scope and the target audience and improve the company's popularity and influence. Companies can dabble in more musical styles and art forms, such as hip hop, the pop music and the folk music, electronics, and so on. And that all are contained in the hip hop category to attract more different types of audience. This will not only help the company to expand its broader market, but also enable the company to better meet the needs of the different audience and improve user stickiness and loyalty. Finally, diversification does not mean that the company should abandon their original brand image and the characteristics. From my perspective, we think that on the contrary, the company can maintain its original brand image actually on the basis of the diversified development, such as Asian culture elements, what young people's music culture, what they like, and so on. At the same time, in the process of the diversified development, the company also needs to, we admit that the company needs to pay attention to maintaining the consistency and the stability of its brand image to ensure that it was not weakened. So we have stepped further by on the basis that the existing artists that we have. So hope that will answer your question, and maybe my teammate could add something.
Hello, dear judges. Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah.
Okay. I think your question is really a good question, and I think I want to add something to my teammates. I think there's also a very important point is to balance the art creation and to balance art creation and the business operation. And I think we need to do, the first thing is to understand the artist's goals and values, because different artists have different creative goals and styles. Like some of them may expect to gain more fame, and some of them may hope to create more masterpieces. And after that, according to their values and goals, an 88 Rising will develop the artistic and business plans. And the artistic plan may include the artist creative plan, like to hold an art exhibition and event schedule. The business plan will include some artist marketing strategy, commercial partnerships, and branding, and that is diversification strategy needs. And of course, we will discuss the plans with the artists to hear their thoughts. And we will also managing the artist's time and resources, because we don't want to force the artist to participate in the company's the other business. So this is my answer, and thank you.
Can you hear me? Okay. My question is about your strategy 3, sustainable development. Can you elaborate a little bit further about your ESG? Because I saw you also mentioned about CSR. You know, the ESG and CSR is 2 different things. So can you elaborate these 2? What are the your strategy on this one, and how do you differentiate ESG and CSR?
Also, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, thank you. And I think I could cope with the question that's the difference between ESG and CSR. As we all know, ESG is for environmental, social responsibility, and corporate governance. And so a CSR is a social corporate social responsibility. And firstly, ESG is promoted by investors because these days we talk about these environmental protection, social responsibility, shouldering. Investors want to know if the company has done a great job in this field. But we also have to know that investors, they care about the financial performance, which means that ESG is not really a charity thing. Maybe you conduct some ESG activities, then you gain fewer revenues or profits in this year, but it would be a long-term thing, which means that maybe you can gain more profits or revenues in the 5 years to come or 10 years to come. And on the other hand, corporate social responsibility, it's more like a charity thing. It's like just we have a factor that is economy externality. I'm not sure if that is a concept, which means that CSR may not just directly give you some revenues or money. They just improve the whole brand image. And secondly, as we all know that ESG has so many third-party agencies to give ESG ratings and so on. So it has a very systematic way to tear or to evaluate the ESG performance of a company. While on the other hand, CSR is more like intuitive, and everyone can say something about it. Everyone can, if a company has just make some donations or make some music classrooms, then we can say that it's about the CSR activities. And I think you have also mentioned like how to combine ESG activities and with our own activities. And I think I can also answer a bit more about it. And I think firstly, it's about building music classrooms. I think my partner has mentioned that we will donate $1 to the building of a music classroom and in every $15. And on the other side, we will also work with the local government to seek for their opinions on the location of music classrooms. And I think we will not rush to expand our music classroom project. And maybe in the first months, in the first 12 months of our planned implementation, we may focus on building only 1 or 2 music classrooms and try to operate them before making any improvements. And secondly, we would also help artists to incorporate Asian elements into their lyrics and performances. For example, for Chinese or Chinese American artists, we may add some historical or cultural elements of China into their lyrics and wearing hanfu costume when they are doing stage performances. Actually, we draw this inspiration from a Vietnamese singer. And her name in Chinese is Huang Chuiling, and I don't know if you know her or not. And she is such an excellent pop star because she has successfully combined the pop elements and the traditional Vietnam culture together. Therefore, I think many Vietnamese youngsters like it very much. So Huang Chuiling is a very popular star. So for example, then we consider maybe we could combine rap elements and the traditional culture together to promote a traditional culture and so on. So I think these are our ways to promote ESG activities, and we will see if my partners have something to add about it.
Yes, thanks a lot for Johnny's elaboration of the difference between ESG and the and the furthermore explanation of the music classroom. And I will go further about the strategy and show why it is also profitable for the 8A Rising, and it's not merely the charity thing. So music education is not only an important means to train music talents and promote Asian music culture, but also an important part of the social development. 8A can design music education projects for different ages.
The time is up. We shall end here.
Okay, thank you.
The Q&A session is now finished, and the judges will now stay in the room for deliberation.